Your unique story, our global audience. Global One Media.
Welcome, everyone, to Global One Media's exclusive one-on-one interviews with company executives sharing insights into their unique journey. I'm your host, Ashley Berry, and we're thrilled you're joining us. Today, Archie Nesbitt, President and CEO of Marksmen Energy, is with us. The company engages in the exploration, development, and production of petroleum and natural gas properties with a sharp focus on the light oil assets in Ohio. They're listed on the TSXV as MAH and the OTCQB as MKSEF. Archie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Marksmen recently forged a partnership with EMF Geoscience to explore new conventional oil fields and reserves in the great state of Ohio. Why is EMF Geoscience the ideal partner, and what aspects of this partnership excite you the most?
Well, we are excited, and it's a very ideal association for us. EMF and Marksmen have focused in the last several years on looking for new oil fields with the use of 3D seismic. And with the 3D seismic and certain formations, you can precisely outline those oil fields and then drill them with no risk. You're going to hit that reservoir, and it will be gas or oil, but you will hit that reservoir 100%. And Ohio has 500,000 wildcat wells, so they didn't have seismic, they didn't use seismic, and so we're going into productive areas with this seismic, this 3D seismic, and outlining these oil fields very precisely, and then drilling them. And EMF has had great success. 50% of the reserves that have been discovered in the Knox Formation in Ohio, they're responsible for finding that. We've been very successful using 3D ourselves in Pickaway County. We have 5 oil fields. So bringing two groups together that have this expertise with 3D seismic to find new oil fields in these areas where there's been no seismic ever before is just wonderful. So EMF has joined us. They have a team of 7 professionals. We now have 3 geologists that are on the Marksmen team that have Masters of Science degrees. We have a geophysicist now from EMF that's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he is renowned. And then we have a drilling engineer that's drilled 5,000 wells. So Marksmen's team now is just exceptional. And we have exclusive access to all the work that EMF has done in the last many years to take on those projects and evaluate them and drill them. And we are the only public company in Ohio, so we're the only partner of choice for them. Really, the small families that control most of Ohio don't have the capital, and we do. So we have the #1 team now in Ohio to look for light oil.
Sounds like a win-win partnership. Under this agreement, Marksmen now has the right to use 35 square miles of recently processed 3D seismic survey data. Maybe you can explain the significance of having access to that information.
Yeah, 35 square miles is an enormous block to have for 3D seismic. We have about 5 or 6 square miles that we've done in the last few years. So now we have 40 square miles of 3D seismic, which is just enormous in a state that has really not had much 3D seismic acquisition. And the big thing about it is, it's 35 square miles, and that takes years to put together. You have to design it. You have to not only pick the location, but you have to have geologists that say, we're going to do it here. And this seismic was done by a major that was looking for a different formation that wasn't there. And so that's why we have it exclusively. And because we're the only public conventional driller in Ohio. And so with the 40 square miles of 3D seismic, we have precisely outlined oil field targets. And there are a multitude of them that are A1 targets. There's sort of 50 drill targets for new oil fields, then a development program, will ensue from that to follow up to drill off these oil fields. So it's a many-year project, but putting it all together, leasing, getting seismic leases, doing the acquisition, processing it, that takes years. So we're really excited to have access to this, and it's as people say, it's a spectacular opportunity for a company to have. So we're drilling. Now we're setting up to drill this seismic, and we're between two very old wildcat oil fields, very large multi-million barrel oil fields. And so we're on the extension of one and in between both, and we are ready to drill these targets. We have some leases, and we're going to lease some more. But this is a multi-year program, and a major company event for us to be involved in this.
So Archie, you mentioned twice, I find this interesting, and I'd really like you to expand maybe on the significance of that. The only public conventional driller in Ohio. Talk a little bit about why this is so important and why it's so unique to Marksmen.
Well, it's we've always been intrigued by Ohio. And, the largest oil field in the world was there in the 1800s. Rockefeller made all his money, started Standard Oil there. And then it evolved where there's 8,000 families did all this wildcat drilling. And so there was no science. We went at it with a bunch of scientists, and we built our team now in Ohio with scientists. A Masters of Science designation is a pretty significant professional status for a geologist, and we have three, and our geophysicist is one of the best, or the best in what we're looking for, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So because there's no capital for private companies, and and families, they will drill and get some cash and build up their cash over the years, and then drill again. But more and more, when I meet these family people, they will drill 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 dry holes because they don't have seismic, and they won't spend the money to do the seismic. So we have access to capital, and we have the team, and now we have the projects. And in addition to that, we have this enormous 3D seismic program that is available to us with all these oil field drill targets.
Really helpful, Archie. Thanks for breaking that down. Makes much more sense. Now, Marksmen has plotted new well locations as part of its drilling program in the Rose Run Infill. Where is that specifically? And can you provide more details about these well sites and their potential?
Well, it's a formation, another formation, and it's slightly different than what we are focused on in the last couple of years. But it is a very productive horizon, and can be outlined with 3D seismic. But in some areas, it's more of a blanket type of reservoir. And so you get these old wildcat wells that have produced in the Rose Run. And, it's pretty easy to access the records and look at these old wells. And so we started more than a year ago with one of our key members of our team, evaluating 2 or 3 areas in central and northern Ohio that had Rose Run production, with a view of determining with all these old wildcat wells, are there spaces where if we do our evaluation, and are there potentially spaces between some of those old wells where we could drill a Rose Run well that would be very successful. And so now we've just about finished that study, and we're talking to the landowners and the leaseholders, and we have the ability to drill. And we've got about 12 locations in one of these areas that we've concentrated on. And we're going to be drilling between and next to wells that were, when they were drilled, came on at 800 barrels a day or 850 barrels a day. And that's just hugely significant for us to be able to do that. So we're very confident with the work we've done. We're very excited about this play too, and our ability to have the majority of interest in that and drill that off hopefully later this year.
Great. So you mentioned the 3D seismic survey. Last year, you announced an exciting light oil discovery in Pickaway County. And after conducting further geological studies there, you now believe this is a substantial find. Perhaps you can share more details about that discovery.
Yes, a spectacular discovery. We knew from the seismic that there was the potential to have this. We did not expect it, and the driller was not ready for it. And we hit this reservoir and had so much force that they could not control the oil that was coming out of the well into our tanks and pits. And eventually, they got heavy enough fluids put together to slow the flow down. We had another 500 feet to drill to our target depth, and we wanted to drill that to the target. So we did, but the well flowed all the time that we were drilling, even with this heavy fluid. So we have a major new discovery on our 3D seismic that we have covering that area. We knew that target was potentially there. Now we know it's there for sure. And it's in a formation that just so happens to be the formation we looked at first when we thought about going to Ohio, because all the elephants, all the big oil fields are in that formation. And so now we have a real story. We're in that formation. We know there's a lot of oil and gas and a lot of pressure, and we're on the edge of it. We need to move and drill about 600 feet to 1,000 feet from where our well is and drill into this formation we see on 3D seismic. And will it be an elephant? We hope so. We're very excited about it. We've got the leases, we've got the land. Our guys have looked at it and studied it. And we're very excited about it being a brand new oil field and a significant oil field for Marksmen.
Well, so many encouraging updates. What does all this mean for shareholders, and what excites you the most at the end of the day?
You know, we're in a very exciting industry, and drilling and exploring is a very exciting thing to be part of, whatever level in a company you are. And we're in a great state with great people, and we have the best team and the best projects, and we're a publicly trading company. So the market has been great, but oil has hung in the 70s, and everybody believes in the next few months it's going to go back to 100 plus, and we're ready for that. We're ready to launch this company and start our drilling program again. And we see wells in some areas that we could drill several major wells in that 500 to 800 barrels a day. We see some of our projects that we've got where we would expect 100 barrels a day or 50 barrels a day from wells. So we can really build this company very quickly with what we've got. And that's the plan, to really, in the next month or so, get very aggressive. And this light oil is 80% of it's used for plastics and specialty products. So hospitals and cell phones and everything. So it's a high demand oil where we get paid WTI prices at our oil wells, at our tanks. There's competition for it. So we're very excited about the Marksmen story. We're currently getting a DTC registration in the United States that will make it very easy for online traders to trade on in the stock on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and that will make it very easy as we market this company in the next few months for people to look at buying some on their own online. And as you said, we're on the OTC, and we're looking at uplisting on the OTC. So there's a lot of things going on behind to have this company ready for its launch in a month or so. And so it will be very exciting. We will drill some very exciting wells. We're very positive and confident about our team and what we're going to be drilling. And so last year when we started drilling, the stock became very active, and I think it went up 350%. So we're looking to do better than that this year once we start. And then once we start going with this program, we have years of drilling in front of us with these projects. So it's a major transition of that company from doing a few little exploration projects and doing some seismic to having constant drilling as you build a company out.
Well, to be continued. I think all of this information, I hope, is very helpful for investors, potential investors. We wish you the best of luck. And you mentioned Ohio being a great state. I said it in the beginning. I can personally attest to that. Great state, great people. I lived there for 4 years, one of my favorite places. Archie Nesbitt, President and CEO at Marksmen Energy. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you for sharing these exciting updates. And we look forward to sharing more with our audience.
Yes, next time, Ashley. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.